Hey you guys, this is Orsi and this is going to be my monthly update that this happened series video for May, because can you believe it, we're almost at the half line of the year. Things happened, and if you watched my last two videos about the topic, then you know what I mean. Just a little update about that situation. Nothing big, nothing happened since. It's just, I'm processing things. I'm feeling much better. Still appreciating everyone who left a comment. I can't say that I completely put everything behind me, because obviously the ending was too abrupt for that to happen just so easily. But life goes on, things are happening, I have other things to worry about now. So, I'm doing better. Just I guess, the quick update on that. And funnily enough, I don't think I mentioned it in the last video, the first one that this happened video, that I kind of stopped watching other readers, other just monthly videos from people on YouTube. But there are certain times when a video pops up and you see it and you're like, I have a feeling I have to watch this. And I was actually unsubscribed from the Autistic Mystic for a while now, because he went into a direction of too much doom and gloom. And even if he is right about things, I don't like to feel worried or like afraid of the future, because that doesn't help me. I don't react to it well. So sometimes I choose to put my hand in the sand, because that's how I can handle things. But his video for was it May? Because I still have the video opened, because I want to go over and make notes, because it was just like so in line with everything that I was going through, that I am going through for the May like monthly thing for him. Is the Aquarius video, if you're interested. That I was just like, when this is people say that this is a general reading and this isn't gonna make sense for a lot of people, and you're sitting there like, this makes complete sense, this makes complete sense, this also makes complete sense for me. So sometimes it happens, sometimes a general reading feels like a personal one, and his video about what I was going through and I am going through still spiritually and everything like that was on point. So it makes you wonder, or at least makes me wonder, like how real our life is, how much are we in the matrix and all that shit. I love philosophy. I wish I would have studied philosophy in university instead of Korean, because it would have been so much more fun and maybe even more useful. So yeah, whatever. But that video was on point, and I just wanted to mention that it's kind of funny that how specific our lives feel to us, obviously, because it's our life, and then there comes a general reading and you're like, but this is my life. So how specific and how special we are, actually, how unique we are. I don't know, and I don't mind. I find it fascinating. But yeah, that's the last month part, pretty much the emotional part. I have things, because I have a notepad from one of the Pelican Hub meetings, because I finally started using it. It's quite good actually with fountain pen. So I have notes, and I'm gonna go through things not in special order, or like not from the most important to the least important. I just sat down yesterday and made notes, and that's gonna be the list. So if you're watching and if you're interested in this one, then thank you. Also, I made my nails yesterday, and the only reason that I'm showing this is because this was completely approved, and not designed, but while I was doing it, approved by my nephew, because he is very fascinated by the whole, what am I doing with my nails, obviously, because I'm doing something that seems interesting and something he doesn't know about a lot. And he usually asks me if he can have his nails painted when he grows up, and I always tell him that obviously. And yesterday, I asked him what color he wants for his first nails to be done, and he was like green, which was interesting because his favorite color is red. And I have no idea if he's gonna grow up actually being able to just freely paint his nails if he wants to, or if it's gonna be, conceived as or regarded as like being gay, which is and that being as a, like a bad thing. I'm really, really like hoping that things will change by the time he's, like a teenager, and he can just do whatever without worrying too much about what other people think. But unfortunately, I can already tell that the sexist way that most people in Hungary raise their children are already started, because when he saw that I started painting my nails black because I wanted a cat eye design, which didn't turn out well, so I removed it and redid the whole thing. He was like, but black isn't for girls or something like that. And I was like, excuse me, of course it is for us as well. So, things are already there, which is, I just hate it when you're genderizing color, like black. Like, excuse me, black is the most flattering color that one can wear, so let's not do that. But he was really cute because, I showed him the first two nails that I did with the powder on top and asked him if I should have all my nails the same color, and he was like, no, let's leave the rest black. So these are so fascinating because he's 3.5 years old, but he has a very strong opinion about nail colors and what he considers as pretty. Because last time when I did my nails, I think it was beautiful. It was a light pink, sparkly pink base with some golden sparkle on top, and it looked really cool. But when I finished it, I don't know if I, talked about this at some point, but I don't think so. So let me just mention it. When I showed him the final result, he was like, "You didn't do it nicely. It's not nice." I was like, I was told off by a 3.5 years old that I did bad with my nails. It was just funny, but this time he approved. So it just makes my heart kind of, like appreciate things that I have a little bit more, or not more, but more presently appreciate things, which is a good thing. Second thing, I don't know, but I think I talked enough about the Chad, Daybell, Lorivello, Daybell, because they got married, the zombie couple trial and murder case that I was following for more than 4 years now. Yesterday was the second trial, the ending of the second trial, and he was found guilty. And not just found guilty, that was a few days ago, but he was sentenced to death. And I understand why, and they did a horrible thing, and I'm not saying that I feel anything about him. It's just that the whole situation, when I was listening to, the charges being read and then the sentence being said out loud, that, that the judge had to sit there. And I don't think it's an easy thing to do. I can't imagine it's an easy thing to do, even if you're just reading out the sentence, to actually say the words out loud that I sentence to death. Because we as a society normally don't do things like that anymore. Like, we don't kill in a way. And I completely understand it's a completely different situation. And, in Idaho, there's a death penalty. I disagree with the death penalty because there's just too many people who found innocent after being executed. So I don't think it's a sure thing enough to to be used, but it's just my opinion. We don't have it here in Hungary, and which I'm very grateful, because the current regime, I a little afraid would have been a bit too much happy to sentence people to death. So, at least we don't have that. But regardless of what I think about the whole, death penalty and everything, it was just so sad, because nothing brings back the children, nothing brings back Tammy, who was the first wife of the guy who was sentenced to death yesterday, or other people who died. Charles, I know everybody in this case. I know the relatives. I know people who lost people. I know the law enforcement people. I know the lawyers, the prosecutors. I know everybody, which is so ridiculous not know of. But it was just, I don't know, it just made me so sad, because the whole thing was so pointless and just, yeah. I kind of hoped, but I guess it was a futile hope, that we would actually learn what happened with the children, why they had to die. But obviously the defense was putting up a case, and a lot of people hate the defense lawyer, but I think he really did his best. You can hate his style. I'm not saying I really, a fan of someone who talks like that, but I completely understand his strategy, and he did his best. And I think that's the most important thing, because now no one can say that, he didn't have good representation and it was all a lie and let's redo the whole thing, because he did everything that was possible. And I think there were certain things where he made a point and I was questioning things, like no DNA anywhere around the murder scene, and stuff like maybe one of the body wasn't there, like one of the victims wasn't killed where they found her and stuff like that, which I think is interesting just to, dig deeper. But everything else was just so obvious that you can't really say that he wasn't guilty. So, but I find the whole process fascinating. The other one that I'm watching is the Karen Reed trial, which is mind-blowing for me that it is actually a trial. I watch it on Emily D. Baker's channel, so I don't know anything about the case, because for reasons, I guess being busy, Emily didn't have the time to catch up with the case before starting to stream the case either. So people who are watching it there actually watching what presented to the jury. So it's a new way of watching a trial, because with this one, with the Daybell case, I knew pretty much everything that was available to know. So sometimes the trial was really boring because it was repetition on 100 times for me. But with this one, I only knew that because I saw one video about a hearing, that there's a lot of people who think she's innocent, and this whole thing is just, the police trying to cover up things and put the blame on someone who wasn't at fault. And so far, I mean, we are a day behind because Emily was busy. She was at CrimeCon, so we're, I think, 1 day behind with everything with the trial. But after like 2 weeks, there was no evidence of anything that the prosecution claims, and it's just mind-blowing to just watch this trial. Like, when you don't understand what's the point of everything, it's, I don't know, I still don't understand how we're gonna get there, from everybody saying she wasn't drunk to the prosecution claiming that she wasn't just drunk, but she murdered the guy on, like, with intent and stuff like that. But no spoilers, because yeah, I'm watching the trial, and I hope that justice will, prevail, and we will learn actually what the hell happened, because so far it's just, there are suspicious things. but you know, I find the trial proceedings very, very interesting. The US ones, the Hungarian ones, no. When we have democracy again, then we can. I'm sure I'm gonna be interested in learning more about it. But now it would just be too frustrating, too angering, and too just disappointing to even learn anything about what's going on in Hungary. So far I'm not interested. Okay, that was another very positive and happy topic, but hey, this was May. I'm watching a lot of trials. Pretty much all I did was watch trials while it was available. Then me and my friend went to another crystal exhibition, which was nearby, by the way, to the place where the guy that I was talking about previously lived. And I can't say that when the tram passed his workplace, even though it was, you know, Saturday, even though I knew he was still sleeping, because, you know, I know his habits those habits by now, and he wouldn't be at the gym at the office, so there was no actual chance for me to run into him. I can say that it was a good feeling to, you know, go there. So I'm quite happy that I don't work anywhere near that area, which is kind of funny, because one of the things that I first thought about it when I learned where he lives was exactly this. When we started dating, that at least if we break up, not when, at least I was optimistic. I was like, at least if we break up, I don't have to worry about running into him or change course when I go to work to avoid him, because, you know, I don't want to run into any of my exes, and now I have a few, so kind of funny feeling. But yeah, that was not very, it wasn't good. And I don't want to run into him or previous guy or any of them either, because what's the point? And it was just, you know, it wasn't be a nice feeling. But crystals. So I posted a picture on Instagram on my personal one, but look at this, it's a dragon head. And the guy who was working at the cashier for this particular vendor, who was only speaking English, which was interesting, because this crowd was generally Hungarian, so it was quite ambitious of them to expect everyone to speak English. I mean, I do, so I don't care. But he was nice, because when I selected the two dragon heads, because obviously I had to have an amethyst, and look at this part, isn't it so cool? Like that tiny, I don't even know, like some other type of crystal, and there's a hole, so it looks really cool. So when I, you know, picked this one up and I went to pay, he was like, but it's just glass, is it okay? And I was like, yep, completely fine, I don't care, it looks like opalite. I have a piece of opal. So, you know, this is more dense feeling, so, you know, you can see that it's not the same. But, you know, if you're not very familiar with the crystal, you could just accidentally think that, oh, this is opalite as well, and I'm gonna get something. But he was nice, and he said that, you know, it's just glass, is it okay? So it's a dragon, is it? Oh, of course, okay. And then I bought a few smaller ones. Everything lives on my other space right now. No, I didn't drop it. I had to have another piece of this hexagon shaped clear quartz, very hard word, clear quartz. Look at that, it's so cool. I don't know, I wish money would be like this. I wish we would pay with crystals. And then a few stars, because there was a discount if you got 3. It was cheaper, so obviously I got 3. This one is an amethyst one. The first one is an amethyst, and then there's one rose quartz. I really wanted to find a rose quartz pendant, something like this, you know, the size would be perfect next to my half moon. And there wasn't anything good. It was just the usual circle-y type of shape, which I just find it boring, and I didn't feel like getting any of them. So I didn't bought that, but I bought two carnelians. This one looked like a tiny egg. The top part, you know, it's like lighter. I just love that the camera actually can focus on details, even if it wants to focus on my face first. And I can show you guys stuff like that. That's so cool. And another one which looks like a teardrop. And the other side looks really cool as well. And these are, you know, like really cheap, so I just got those. And I think, oh, and I bought all the Christmas presents that I want to give to my family, which I'm not gonna show, even though they are not watching any of my videos, fortunately. But you know, Murphy's my friend, and if I would show you what I got for them, that they would for sure watch it by accident. So I'm not showing that, but I only have to find something for my dad, because I don't think that, you know, he would have cared for a crystal related item that much. So, and I don't want to buy him chocolate or, you know, anything edible, because even though he would be happy with it, but I kind of want to find something useful. But it's very, you know, he's one of those people who I find, like, I have a very hard time now to give any gifts, because even though he reads, he doesn't read as much as he used to. And so he doesn't really have other hobbies anymore, just watches YouTube. And then what the if you can, you know, give someone who watches YouTube. I already pay for the premium, so I can't buy him a subscription or anything like that. So I don't know what I'm gonna give to him. And it's not like Christmas is, you know, anywhere around the corner, but I bet that we're gonna blink a few times and it's gonna be Christmas time already. So yeah, I bought some crystals. Didn't buy too much. It wasn't a horrible amount, so I'm quite pleased with myself. I also, since this is mostly a tarot related channel, I'm happy to report that the Angelarium Oracle, the second one, has been not shipped to me. It's in the European warehouse, if I understood the last update correctly, but I don't really understand why. American people already got their decks, which is okay. That's international, that's local shipping for him. But I saw that even in Oceania, I think, there's like 11 days, and then everybody is expected to get their decks. But for Europe, for some reason, it's 3 weeks still. Like, why? So I will have to wait till the end of probably next month to get the deck. And I was just thinking that how much I like how Stephanie Burrows from 3 Trees Tarot handles shipping, because what she does is she ships out the decks to the locations that are the furthest from her location, and then, you know, she ships out the ones that are getting closer, so people are pretty much getting the deck at the same time. And I think it's fair. It's not fair. I think it's a really kind thing to do, because one of the things that I hate being an international buyer for anything like that is how much I have to wait, and everybody is getting everything already, and you're just still sitting there, just waiting and, you know, like missing out the fun. So I think that's a lovely thing to do. And I honestly don't understand why it will take 2 to 3 weeks after the shipment arrives from China to the location warehouse, because they don't have to print the decks at location. So I don't know, I just don't like it. I think it's too much. 3 weeks from being shipped out from there, especially because the shipping wasn't cheap. So, you know, I think I paid the $25, which is usually a shipping from the US directly here. And I understand it went from China to whatever, maybe in Germany. I don't know what's the European hub is. And then it's gonna come here, but I don't know. From China to directly to us, it was $10 for the previous one. So I don't see the point of paying that much and not getting it a little bit quicker, like as quick as the other international locations. I know it's not his fault, not the creator's fault. It's the shipping company's interesting choice or whatever. Anyway, so I will have that deck probably next month. And I also ordered 2 decks. One of them was the Housewife's Tarot. I kept looking at that deck for a few years now, and after the live with Rumors, the 5 decks with Rumor from Rumor Haven, I finally decided that, you know what, I want a new deck. So I bought that one, and then because, you know, algorithms, the Crystals Tarot, I can't remember the name exactly, but I think it's the Crystals Tarot. It's an older deck, but it's one where you get the card and then a crystal associated to the card, and then like a key sentence about what the card is all about. And I remember looking into the deck, but I wasn't interested in it back then. But now, since I keep buying crystals and I want to learn more about them, and I'm not doing it, so why not buy a tarot deck that's related to crystals? So I will have 2 decks coming in, which is fun. It's been a while that I actually had a few decks coming in, so that's gonna be fun. But it's, you know, one was shipped last week, but the one that I ordered, the Housewife's Tarot, wasn't shipped from Burberry yet, and they shipped quicker, so I don't know if something changed or they're just more busy. But the shipping to Hungary is a bit slower now. I mean, the shipping out time, so I don't know if it means anything or not. Okay, new decks, and I talked about that 5 decks, which was so much fun with Rumor. I'm actually on, you know, like health-wise, I'm on a diet for more than 2 weeks now. It's I'm just making a note so that, you know, I can appreciate that I actually did try to do something, because I don't hate myself anymore. That problem was dealt with a few years ago, so it's not motivated by self-hate, which is, I think that's a really good thing, but actually just want to be, you know, like healthier, and I need to like lose some weight so I can actually start with better eating habits and the exercising and stuff like that, because I know it could have been, you know, that slower path or way as well, but I just needed something to kick off things, and I'm managing like for 2 weeks now, and I didn't cheat in a way that I ruined everything. So I'm just, you know, like proud of myself, and I wanted to make a note about it. So but it should end on the officially, it should end on that because I'm doing a 30-day 23rd of June, so, you know, before the next video goes up from the This Happened one. But I'm not entirely sure I can keep the last 2 days, because I will have a fountain pen meeting on the 22nd, which it means that I can't eat the food that I'm supposed to eat on that day, and then, you know, there's just 1 day left, and I don't know if there's a point to go back to the very strict one after 1 day of not eating completely that way anymore, just so that, you know, I go back to 1 day and then stop eating that way. So maybe I'm gonna just do 28 days, we'll see. But yeah, at least I'm doing that. I also bought a few books. I bought I forgot the English title, and I don't have the book here anymore. Okay, let me see how to. Oh no! Of course, because I have the phone over my laptop, so I can't see, the right side of things, so I can't open a new tab. So I bought the Terry Pratchett book, but I forgot which was the English title because I read him in Hungarian. It's The Dodger. I'm not entirely sure that I like it so far. I only read a few pages though, but Terry Pratchett has a distinct sense of humor, which I don't see yet in the story. And I read a few other reviews that, were kind of in the same area, like they were on the same opinion as I was, so we will see. But I want to buy all the Terry Pratchett books available, so I know that I would have bought it anyway, and it was on the display shelf of an antique bookstore that I pass every day to work, so yeah, it was just time that I would get it, so I got it. And also my friend who lives in Manchester, I talked about the Stephen King Dark Tower series that I wanted to buy it in used books format, and you can't really see it, but maybe you can. The books are here because she gifted them as a belated birthday. I mean, we're pretty much almost halfway through between two of my birthdays, but it was a belated birthday present, so I have the Dark Tower series as well, and now I just have to find place to put the books. But it's funny that I keep buying books now or getting books now that I don't have time to read as much because the university entrance interview thing that I will have to do for getting into the master's degree that I would like to do is coming up. I mean, the first available date, the period when they start doing these interviews is the 12th of June, which is 10 days from now, and I still don't know when I will have my interview. I hope I will get, like a chance. I'm not entirely sure. I was sure that I could, just apply, and I still think that, I have everything that qualifies me for getting the interview, but it's kind of getting nerve-wracking to wait for the date. And I also have no idea what to do, how to prepare for it, because there's nothing that was said on the website. It's just that it's gonna be an interview and you have to ace it, because I have to get the maximum points in order to be able to get in. So yeah, no pressure. I know not a lot of people want to be librarians these days, so fingers crossed that they would let me pay a lot of money to get in, because it's gonna be so expensive. It's one of the most expensive subjects that you can study at a master's level. My friend pays like 1/3 less at least for her education, but I'm prepared, so let me get in, let me pay a bunch of money. Yeah, I'm gonna be, if it happens, and I hope it happens, obviously, I'm gonna be just crazy busy from September, because I will have my full-time job, my side job at the library, and I will have university as well, and maybe just on every second week there's gonna be a day, but I will miss work, so I will have to make up for it in other days, and two, I will have to study for exams and stuff like that, so I don't know how I'm gonna survive that period of time, but fingers crossed I'm gonna be crazy busy. Other thing that's coming up, but it's for June, so I'm gonna talk about it, obviously. And the next one is the EP election. It's the European Parliamentary vote. and the local government election, which is quite interesting because a lot happened politically in Hungary. There's a new person, not my... He's coming not from the side of things that I vote for. He's a... I don't even know in English, it's a conservative, you know, on the right side of things. And I'm a socialist at heart. I want people to all have access to everything and have basic needs met and being taken care of. So I'm not a fan of capitalism and stuff like that in general. And you can, you know, call me whatever you want. I don't care. I think we should take care of each other in general as human beings, as society, more than what's being done. But there's a new person who brought hope to people. So it's this EP election is kind of treated like a mini, let's see if we can change and actually get rid of the government. Even though, you know, it's not going to happen because it's not about that, but a lot is riding on this election. And if there isn't going to be like measurable success with this person and the whole thing that he's what was the word represents, it's gonna be another gut punch to Hungarian people in general. Not, you know, the people who are voting for the ruling party because they are brainwashed, so nothing can save them, but the rest of the people. So I'm quite curious what's gonna be happening after the election. Obviously, we're all gonna go and vote, and if you live in the European Union, then you should vote as well because it matters. But that's true that I never in my entire life watched so many political content that I watched in the past 2 weeks. And you could say that, oh, I should have been more, you know, interested in politics, but I don't like politics in general. And I don't think that it should be part of everyday life as much as it is, because we should just vote for people, sometimes checking on what they are doing, but not be so involved with everything all the time, because it's stressful, and I don't think it should be about it, but you know, this is what it is. But yeah, so we will see. Next time we meet, we're gonna be long done with the election because it's on the night, and I'm gonna be done with either getting a date for the interview or not, and everything like that. So okay, and I will have a few new decks, so hopefully fingers crossed the next one is gonna be a more, I'm not gonna say big words like happier, but maybe less stressful once I'm done with June, but we will see. But please, if you can, please send me some good vibes for the university thing, because I really need all the help. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching, and hope it was interesting at least, or, you know, you watched it. Bye.